whenever you sign that covert contract and you know that they're an avoidant, you're actually signing up for more of the same if they're not doing some substantial work on themselves. Messages from an avoidant could be really inconsistent and often confusing, especially if after the dating and getting to know each other stage was hot and heavy. In today's video, I'm going to break down 3 common texts that they will send and how you should respond when they do. And by the way, these suggestions have actually worked with clients that I've worked with. Before I get into the content, if this is your first time visiting my channel, my name is Coach Court, and I've been helping people navigate relationships for over the past 18 years. Relationships are complex, and I've created this channel to help people understand the different nuances in relationships. If you want my help personally, the quickest way to get into contact with me is through my website at www.fruitfulseeds.com. The first text that you'll see is sorry, I've just been busy. Now at first, it may sound like this is just someone being caught up with work and life. But if you're dealing with a dismissive avoidant, this usually isn't about time. It's about emotional bandwidth. And what I mean is when things start to feel too suffocating and there becomes expectations, their natural instinct is to withdraw and pull in all of their emotional resources. Usually, they're not just ignoring you to be malicious, but they feel the safest when they have that distance in between you two. And here's an example. Let's say that you just had a deep conversation last night, maybe about your relationships in the past or your feelings. The next day, they go MIA. And it's not that they don't care. It's that vulnerability makes them feel uncomfortable. I call this the vulnerability overdose. And I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I had a client a couple years ago that was planning to go to a concert with their avoidant partner. They had a really good connecting night, Saturday night, but after hanging out and booking tickets to a concert of an artist that they were looking into, my client didn't hear anything from that person for a whole week. She contacted me in between while they were on this period of no contact, and I suggested that she was patient and she didn't take it personally. So we dove deep and I asked her, was it something that she missed on that night that could have been a little bit different, a little bit off? And she said that, yeah, his father passed away and him and his father actually liked the artist that those two are going to be going to. She didn't realize that that was a really vulnerable thing for him to tell her. What ended up happening is the day before the concert, the person ended up texting her a new music video from the artist. And then I suggested that my client said something like, I'm excited for the concert too. When are you picking me up? They worked out a time, but I also advised her to have a conversation about the silence that happened in between, which she did. And he responded that he was a bit nervous about the concert due to big crowds and was having second thoughts about going all together. And he also felt conflicted about the emotions that he would feel during that concert because that was something that him and his father used to bond on. And she said that she understood, but when he goes missing like that, this is what she said, when he goes missing like that, it makes her feel that something is off, makes her feel like it was something that she did or that the connection is losing its strength. And they came to an understanding and they had a really good connecting, building conversation. I'm not sure how things turned out, but that incident was overcame and they were able to move forward. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen with all of your relationships. That was just that client that I work with. But if you guys are watching this and you want to know how to respond in your case, your scenario, I would say the easiest advice would be is to not double text, try not to take it personal, give them that space and realize that this isn't a test. It's their way of self-regulating themselves. And if you respect that space, more times than not, I've seen that person will come back stronger because you've actually given them what they were looking for to begin with. The second text that I would see is, I'm not really looking for anything serious right now. And this one here is huge. The last video that I did, I talked about this. When someone tells you what they're looking for, you have to believe them, because I think it's really egotistical to think that you can love them out of whatever they have going on. You can make them forget about all their past relationships when they've actually already told you that they're not looking for anything serious. So after that point, it's like a covert contract. You're signing up to be in this type of friends with benefit or just friendship type of dynamic. You have to realize dismissive avoidance fear losing their independence. And even if they enjoy spending time with you, the idea of commitment can make them feel trapped. So if they're setting this boundary early to keep the expectations low, you need to set your boundaries as well and say, hey, that's not what I'm looking for. I have numerous examples of this happening, but just remember, it's not that they don't like you or they're not feeling a connection. It's that their commitment makes them feel too vulnerable. So if you want a serious relationship, I advise that you don't waste your time trying to convince them. Instead, take their words at face value. If their pace doesn't match yours, you have to decide if you're okay with that or if you need to just walk away from this whole dynamic. The third text that you will see is I don't really do a lot of texting. I'm not a texter. You know how in the beginning of the relationship, everything was moving really hot, really heavy. You couldn't get enough of each other. You love seeing their name pop up. You get this nice little dopamine release and you know, maybe even oxytocin, and you feel just connected to this person. You feel like you're learning everything about them. And then after a while, that pace slows down and it tapers off. This is why I love the 90-day rule. I feel like within 90 days, you can see if someone's actually a texter or if they're not. It's almost like when you hire someone and they say, oh, I'm proficient in Microsoft Word. I can do your laundry for you. And then you get into this agreement and you realize that they've never touched Microsoft Word since you've been with them and since you've hired them, and they haven't done a load of laundry since you've hired them either. So they were actually people pleasing and matching and mirroring what they thought that you would like. But avoidance can't keep up with this pace for a long time. It gets exhausting because text feels unnecessary to an avoidant. They might see it as small talk or even an obligation rather than a way to build an honest, genuine connection. And they are very present with whoever they're with and whatever they're doing. You can even see when they're with you that they may not be on their phone a lot. They may just be completely connected to you. It's more like an out of sight, out of mind type of behavior. So if you're in this scenario here and you're texting them, hey, I hope you have a good day. You text them in the morning and then you don't hear anything back for them, even though they read your message, you saw it, and you might feel like, oh, this is rude and inconsiderate. It's not that they're trying to do this on purpose. It's just that they don't have a need for constant communication. It's not within their nature. So once again, I'll reiterate, don't take things personally. So if your love language is consistent communication, let them know that right out the gate. Say, hey, I value consistent communication. If you're not going to talk and have a conversation with me, then don't initiate a text message because they will. They'll say something. They may send you a picture of something and then just disappear. So a good middle ground here is to focus on the quality of the conversations over the quantity because they sure do. They value meaningful conversations over the quantity, just daily check-ins. So comment down below if you feel like I'm way off base or if you have other texting communication habits that you see from a dismissive avoidant. So as a recap, make sure that you give them space, but set those boundaries for yourself. Don't abandon your needs just to keep them comfortable. The second thing is don't take their distance personally. And I'll say that over and over and over again because it's not about their attachment. It's about your reflection of your self-worth. And 3, communicate clearly. Let them know what you need, and if you can do this in a way that you don't guilt trip them or make them feel pressured, this will be the way to get them to communicate in a way that is actually more fulfilling. But lastly, decide if this communication, this attachment style is something that you can work with long term. Because whenever you sign that covert contract and you know that they're an avoidant, you're actually signing up for more of the same if they're not doing some substantial work on themselves in healing their attachment style. Mindfulness, self-reflection, and open communication is how they get there. Is your person doing any of these? So if you found this video of any value, please like, comment, and share. You can reach out to me on my other social media accounts. Instagram is I am Coach Court. TikTok is I.am.CoachCourt. Facebook is Coach Court. And always remember, when you go be love, you'll never have to find it. Namaste.